We've gone about as far as we can go using our embedded styles. It's time to create an external style sheet. But before we do that, let's save our document. Go up to File, Save As, and let's change this to version 4. Version 4 will be our example of how external style sheets work. There are many, many reasons for using an external style sheet. One, it's a best practice, and two, it certainly will make your work a lot easier when you're working with a team or publishing a large website. The idea of an external style sheet is that you have one style sheet, and in the head of the document, you link your HTML page to that style sheet. You can link it to as many HTML pages as you want. So if you have a large website, say 20 pages, and you need to make one change, you make that change in your external style sheet, and it will apply itself across that entire website. Saves you a lot of time and a lot of work. Yes, websites and pages can have multiple style sheets, but again, an external style sheet makes it easy to keep your presentation and your structure separated. You can have one team working on structure, one team working on presentation, and if you need to update, edit, maintain a site, it's all in one location and spreads itself across and applies itself across the entire website. So let's remove our embedded styles and place them inside an external style sheet. Select the Code button to go into Code View. Scroll to the top. And as I've said before, all of the styles that we've created so far appear between the opening style tag and the closing style tag. Let's just select the styles, nothing else. I will select the body tag all the way down to the last tag, the class tags that we created. Make sure you include the curly-Q bracket that closes the blue tag. Once you've selected that, make sure, just visually check that you have all those styles and they're pink. It's easy to see if you've got them or not. Make a right click. Scroll down your drop-down menu to CSS Styles, move to the right, and then scroll down to Move CSS Rules. This is the trick to get it into an external style sheet. A dialog box will say, do you want to move to an external style sheet? And the answer is yes, you do. Now, if we had already started an external style sheet, at this point we could go out to our directory and browse for one. But we do not have any external style sheets, so let's create a new style sheet. Select this button, and then click OK. Dreamweaver opens up its directory and says, you're working inside this project folder. Where would you like to save your style sheets? We've already created a folder for our style sheets. Select that folder. Write the name of this style sheet up at the top. We will call this Style.Guide.CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. Make sure that the directory is right. In the folder CSS, the document name is Style.Guide.CSS. Keep it relative, which means it's linked to the document, and then click on Save. Now, in Code View, you see that all the styles have been removed. Let's take a look at the CSS panel on the right. There is our external style sheet. If we click on this triangle, it shows us that all of the styles that were embedded are now contained in that style sheet. This is terrific. However, when I click on the style tag at the top and I look over in Code View, I see that I have now code that's really doing nothing. There's no content in that tag, and I need to remove that and clean up my document. The easiest way to do this is to select the style tag at the top of your CSS panel. Go down to the bottom of your CSS panel. You will see a trash can. Click on the trash can, and voila, you've cleaned up your code. A couple other things I want to point out before we save. Now that we have saved our document as StyleGuide04.html, there's an asterisk behind it, meaning we're working in it, but it's not saved. That asterisk always means you have an unsaved document. And we now have not only source code appearing here, but we also have StyleGuide.CSS. This is a new feature in Dreamweaver CS4, that any documents that are linked or related to your document, your HTML document, will appear up here so that you can understand how your file structure, your code files for JavaScript, your style sheets, all of those things that need to be there to make this HTML document preview correctly in a browser. I'm going to click on the StyleGuide.CSS because I'm in Code View already. And what's great about this is right here inside of Dreamweaver, by just a quick toggle, I can see my HTML code, structure, see my style sheets, presentation. You don't need to know a lot of code to be able to understand a CSS style sheet. You just need to know that these are the tags, and these descriptors or descriptions separated by a colon and followed by values are what's defining the look and feel of your website. When you have multiple pages open like this, if you do save, which I'm going to do right now, it only saves the document that I have open. Notice it just saved the style sheet. My style guide is still not saved. The easiest way to save all the documents that you're working on is to go up to File, Save All. That will save every document that's related to the project you're working on. Let's click on the Design button. Let's make sure that our linked style sheet works properly inside the browser. Click on Preview in Firefox. Yes, it looks just like it did before. And let's just use our Web Developer toolbar to see what appears now when we say CSS, View CSS. Great. It's showing our external style sheet. It knows that it's in our CSS folder, and it knows that it is in our main project folder. All of the styles that we've created so far exist right here. So we've done a great job of doing it just like the pros. Let's go back into Dreamweaver, close out Firefox, and I just want to show you where that link to the style sheet exists. I'm going to choose the Split button, choose Source Code. At the top of your document, in the head tag, you'll now see something right here called Link. The href, remember an href is a location on the internet, says that it's within this directory that we're working in a folder called CSS.Style.Guide.CSS. So we've done our work, we're working with our linked external style sheet, and we're now really practicing separation of structure and presentation.